Hopefully you guys can see me. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Elijah, coming back with you for day 50 out of the 100 days of practice set out by Hillary Hahn. I'm sorry. So let's see. Now this is my halfway mark. I would like to kind of recap what I have learned from day 1 till day 50. Let's see. So day 1, I was fairly new with the violin. I had a conventional violin, a standard right-handed violin. Now I did take lessons, but due to the circumstances that I was given, continuing on with the right-handed violin did not seem ideal. So, I guess you can say I do have a little background in violin. Very minute, I would say. So, yeah, let's see. From day 1 to day 50, I would say my technique has gotten better. My fingering has gotten better. And my overall bow hold and slash sound has gotten better. I can hear the confidence that I have when I make contact with the bow and the violin strings. Now, I do want to share with you why I do. Now, so last night, I had the pleasure of talking in front of a class for one of my teachers. And that has been going on since, I don't know, about 3 years now, maybe 2. So I have a very unique story to share. And I kind of brought it to my teacher because that was a field he's teaching, was psychology, and that has to do a lot with the brain. That's what psychology means, study of the mind and like how it works. So, I brought it to his attention that, that I had these problems and how they affected my everyday life. So I think day 50 is a good day to kind of shed some light on that aspect of my life. Let's see, where shall I begin? I guess we could go ahead and start with yesterday and the speech I was given. Now, I don't know, hopefully you were with me from the beginning and you heard that, let's see, not that one, that you, that you heard that mercy was kind of almost like the theme to my life, and now I'm gonna share why. So there we are, mercy. I'm pretty excited that I do have the sheet music for it. Oh, nice. So yeah, so yeah, it's a 2-1 G. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the notes. And, yeah, so, so when I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor in my cerebellum. And, the first symptom I had was I was a soccer player back then. I was playing during a match that we had. Then all of a sudden, I collapsed on the field. And for some reason, I could not walk. And that was due to the brain tumor. And after that, my mom, she took me to the doctors. Unfortunately, the doctor just said I was dehydrated. My mom argued that, you know, that it could not be because, the season just started. And, I was in pretty good shape for the season. So he sent me home, and, the next season, it happened all over again. I collapsed on that field. Then I went back to the doctor, and the doctor told my mom to take me to the hospital. And so that's what she did. She took me to the hospital, explained the symptoms I was having. I had an emergency MRI, and there they found stage 3 brain tumor in my cerebellum. So that's what was causing all my symptoms. And the next day I had to undergo an 8-hour surgery, and and after that the surgery was a success nonetheless, but it was kind of a miracle how it happened. It was so the neurosurgeon, he touched the tumor, and all of a sudden my heart rate dropped. And he stated that he's only gonna try one more time, and if he couldn't get the tumor on the second try, then I'm sorry, there was nothing they could do. And let's see. So, fortunately, they got the tumor on the second try. But after that, I was just left with a whole bunch of side effects. Now, the cerebellum plays a pretty major part in your brain. It controls your motor skills, right next to the cerebellum, you have the occipital lobe. You have the medulla oblongata. You have the brainstem. The brainstem is very important. And so after that surgery, I forgot how to walk, forgot how to talk, forgot how to breathe, and forgot how to eat and drink. So I had to undergo rehabilitation for, I don't know how long it was, but I had to undergo rehabilitation, and thankfully I did relearn everything, but I still, even till this day, I do struggle with some stuff. Like the swallowing aspect, I do struggle with. I choke pretty much all the time. There's just so many aspects. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because that's why I play a left-handed violin instead of a conventional right-handed. My left side, my entire left side is almost paraplegic due to the muscle atrophy that I suffered. And so when I fell in love with the violin, and I knew that's what I really wanted learn and play. So my mom, she got me a violin. She got me some lessons, and it did not turn out so great because my left hand, the motor skills, the fine motor skills, we're talking about the fingers, they aren't pretty capable of moving fast like my right arm. And so I was pretty discouraged, and the only tune I could play on that violin was Twinkle Twinkle. I could not play the songs I play today, like Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Can't play, I wouldn't be able to play a Song of the Wind. I wouldn't be able to play that. So after that, I was just discouraged. Let's see. So I decided that there has to be a way where I can still learn to play the violin. And then, it kind of dawned on me that there has to be a left-handed violin. And, I looked. Sorry. I looked, and I called some violin shops, and they pretty much laughed at me, saying that, well, a left-handed person can learn to play a right-handed violin because their fine motor skills are the ones that are going to be playing the notes. And unfortunately, I did not have that luxury. So, but thankfully I found this website, and they have some pretty eccentric violins. And, and thankfully they had a left-handed violin. And, so that's kind of the whole premise of the speech I gave yesterday. Now, I have given speeches for many other classes from the same teacher. Now, I've talked about things that went awry in the brain, the side effects, the specific lobes that it affected. That was kind of what really I would speak on. But the whole idea that me to share my violin, and me retraining my brain to play the violin left-handed was, I was listening to that song, the rendition by Hilary Hahn of Mercy. I was listening to it, then it got me to think. I love to write. I always take my journal with me wherever I go, and if I have an idea, I like to write it down. If something comes to me, I like to write it down. And so I wrote something in my journal, and my teacher just, we're very close like that. I can send him things, that is very personal. And so, that's how the whole idea came into perspective, was me just writing. And he was like, I would love for you to present this in class. And so it's what I did. Now that song, Mercy, has a lot of meaning to me, deep meaning. In the beginning of the song is very sensual. Then, during the song, as we progress more, yet more of a soft feeling. To me, that's kind of like my childhood. Then you get to a high note. I like to call it a deep note because it has a deep meaning, but it's a very high note. And that to me was how I collapsed on the field. And then as we go on through the song, you have some more like soft notes, sadder notes. And to me, that's me falling into depression. And then you have some notes that are like ding, like kind of like that. So to say is so you have that kind of epiphany, where you're like, okay, I have to do something about this because what is done is done. I have to learn how to cope with this, and I have to learn how to continue to live life even with all my disabilities. So, and then you get to the very fast part of the song. You get to the notes clashing back and forth. To me, those are kind of waves crashing back and forth, and that to me is me fighting back. And then the next thing you know, it sort of calms down, and then at the end of the song you hear a very deep note, a deep sound, and that is me looking back at my past saying, yes, you have tried to get me down, but I have overcome what you have brought, and I am triumphant. So yes, that song is very powerful to me. Now, one day I do hope where I can be that talented and that advanced to read the sheet music and then perform it, not for anyone else, but for myself. Because when I do hear that song, I can envision myself playing that song in front of a crowd, but really playing it for myself. And during that song, I feel a tear coming down, because for myself, I don't really reflect on how bad I had it. It's only when I really think about it, and then I realize that it was very dire what I went through, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I went through that. It's unbelievable. And then at the end of the song, when I finish, I can see the crowd applauding, giving me a standing ovation. But I do not feel like I wanted the standing ovation. I just wanted to perform that song for myself, because that song to me is very powerful, and I do think it is a wonderful theme to my life. And like I said from the beginning of this challenge, I am deeply thankful to Hillary Hahn for setting out this challenge, the 100 days of practice, because it is motivating me to practice every day. Now, yes, I have my good days and I have my bad days. You know, my good days, I feel like I have the confidence. My bad days, I'm like, I could do this better. Like, I know what I need to do. Why can't I do it? But, you know, there's a saying in golf. You know, you have a good hole, then you have a bad hole. Then, you know, they say such is golf. So, the same metaphor applies to the violin. But if I were to say anything, I would say if you want to pick up an instrument that you truly love and truly have the perseverance to learn that instrument despite any disability that you have, just know that you can, and you can achieve anything you set your mind to. I mean, no one, not even the doctors, would think I would have made it this far, but I believed in myself and still here. So, yeah, this is kind of my recap for day 1 to day 50. Now, I did not record my practicing today, but I did practice. But I felt like I had to share what the violin means to me and how thankful I am. So, you guys, well, this is it for day 50. Tomorrow I'll be back for day 51. So yeah, if you guys would like to still continue to follow me on this journey, stay tuned. And if you're a newcomer visiting this channel and you wish to follow me on this journey, subscribe. You know, I'll be here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Alright guys, well, that's it for day 50. So, have a good night, guys. Peace.